on in and grab a chair. That'll unfold, so that's a blanket for you there. Okay. Tea. I think they might have only put one sugar in. I think they got it mixed up. And there's a plain donut there for you. I had a cereal bar, but if you get hungry or anything else, just let me know. Okay. Do you have any?
Eaten since noon.
You have eaten since noon? Okay. Are you hungry now? I can get you a full meal if you want.
Yes, okay.
Bacon and eggs, or do you want something else?
I'm too sick to talk. This is really nice.
That's okay. You can listen. And if you have any questions as we go along, there's no issues there at all. Okay?
Okay.
I got a few things I'll talk to you about. As I told you, my name is Chris. My last name is Lone. And I understand your name is Michael. Now, do you go by Mike or Michael? What's your preference?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. I'll probably call you Mike. So unless that really offends you, just leave it with me. I'm going to go over a few things here today. Okay, Mike? Like I say, don't be shy. You'll find I'm pretty relaxed, pretty laid back because I've dealt with these types of issues before.
Ontario Eyalet Polisi yüksek eğitimli bir davranış bilimleri birimine sahiptir ve adli psikiyatri alt birimi dünyanın en iyilerinden biri olarak kabul edilmektedir. İlk başta tanıdık bir ilişki kurma stratejisi göreceksiniz. Soruşturmacı, soruşturmanın açılış aşaması boyunca dostane ve neredeyse kayıtsız bir tavır sergileyecektir. Dayanışma ve saygı algısı şüphelinin işbirliği yapma ve konuları dikkate alma olasılığını arttıracaktır. Dedektifin rahat tavrı suçun ciddiyetini de hafifletecek ve böylece itirafın ağırlığı çok daha az korkutucu hale gelecektir.
But my job is, as I mentioned to you earlier, I'm from what's called the behavioral sciences section. And we're talking about the missing person one, Tori Stafford went missing. I know you were following a little bit in the media, and you'd follow some little bits and pieces that there was behavioral sciences people involved, right? And sometimes they were criminal profilers. There's been other members in there as well. Threat assessment, and that's what one of my roles is as well. In threat assessment, what my job is to determine the risk. Okay, what's the risk of a certain situation? Now, the situation that we're talking about is you're going to find here that there's nothing you're going to tell me to surprise me. Okay, for two reasons. One, I've heard a lot of this stuff before. The second reason is I'm fortunate enough to know what all the case facts are. Okay, so what I have to do is assess what I perceive is a threat. So are you going to go out and kill more people after this situation's done? Okay, that's what my job is, to assess threat level. All right, I already know you're responsible for one death. Okay, so that's what my job is to determine what's happened here. All right.
Çavuş Chris Lam, 21 yılı aşkın süredir polis memuru olarak görev yapmış ve son 17 yıldır davranış bilimleri biriminin bir üyesiydi. Bu sorgulama gerçekleştiği sırada analiz bölümünün başındaydı. Bu, suçlu profili oluşturma, tehdit değerlendirmesi ve adli psikiyatri alanlarından sorumlu olduğu anlamına geliyordu. Tek amacının şüphelinin tehdit düzeyini değerlendirmek olduğunu belirtiyor. Ancak bu tür tehdit değerlendirmeleri sadece daha az ciddi suçlara uygulanır. Tecavüz ve cinayet gibi suçların ciddiyeti nedeniyle herhangi bir psikanaliz yapılmadan önce tehdit seviyesi zaten değerlendirilmiş olur. Gerçekte soruşturmacının birincil amacı şüphelinin karakterini anlamak ve bu bilgiyi kullanarak onun muhakemesini ve kararlarını etkilemeye çalışmaktır.
Before we go through all that though, my people just don't wake up one day and decide this is going to happen, and I know that. All right, so there's a lot of ideas that go in people's heads at the time, and if I go through and I go through your history and your background, there's not a whole hell of a lot you've been involved in life, is there? Right? You're completely under the radar. Anyway, so I'm going to go through a few things with you here. All right. Obviously, you're upset by what's going on. You're here for a reason, and right back at the beginning, the investigators and the case manager, the officer in charge, said that I'm going to follow the evidence and go where the evidence leads me. Okay. And now you're here because the evidence has led the investigators to you. All right. And then I get involved after. But now all of a sudden you're involved in this situation, and it's a serious situation, and it's a scary situation. I'm sure you're quite upset and quite concerned about what's going on here. All right. Now, the last one I was involved with like this, I don't know if you're aware of it, was a girl named Holly Jones in Toronto, and she went missing. And the guy that had abducted her, his name was Michael Rafferty. And what he was doing is he was watching on his computer for hours and hours and hours. He was looking at child porn to the point that he decides, I want to go try this. And he goes and he grabs Holly and he does some things to her, and then he realizes, what am I going to do? Okay? And he panics. He doesn't know what to do because she's a witness now. And he says, if I just let her go, she's going to tell on me. So he decides that he's not going to let her go. All right? And all that was from something as simple as watching child pornography for hours on end. These things happen, okay? And if it's something where you're like Michael Rafferty, where you looked at a lot of child porn and then decided you were going to try it, then that's fine. If it wasn't your idea, then that's fine too. But we can't change what the case facts are, all right? And you know deep down that this is your chance to get it off your chest. You're not sitting there the rest of your life saying, I guess I should have said something, all right? I guess I should have got it off my chest and said my side. Because this is your last chance to do it. The fact that you're here and the fact that they've already, they know where the victim is, okay, and they know your steps, this is it. You have to take the steps now to live the rest of your life, okay? This is what you have to do. You and I need to talk about this, okay?
Sorgulama sırasında şüphelinin tavırlarını incelemek her zaman ilginçtir. Özellikle de suçunu işlerkenki tavırlarıyla karşılaştırıldığında. Buradaki şüpheli titreyerek çaresiz bir kurban gibi davranıyor. Kendi kendine acıyarak sempati toplamaya çalışıyor. Tori Stafford'a saldırırkenki tavırlarının tam tersi. Burada göstermeye çalıştığı güçsüz ve savunmasız tavırlarının kurbanın saldırıya uğradığı sırada hissettiği tavırlarla aynı olması ironik. Kendisi için toplamaya çalıştığı sempati, tecavüz edip öldürdüğü 8 yaşındaki çocuğa karşı hissetmediği şeyin açık bir göstergesi.
I've got to determine, as part of my job, when all is said and done here, do I think Mike's done? This is it. He's made his mistake. He realizes how wrong the mistake that he made, and he's willing to look past it? Or do I have to sit here and say, all right, my report's going to say very simple, I think this guy's going to reoffend?
I didn't do anything.
Well, that's not entirely true either.
That is entirely true.
No.
I didn't do anything.
No, you can try and cement yourself into that, okay? But at the same time, you're not doing yourself any good by not being truthful here, okay?
Soruşturmacı empatik ve anlayışlı görünmek ister. Ancak yine de şüphelinin güvenini düşük tutması gerekir. İnkarları izler ve hemen durdurur. Şüphelinin suçunu inkar etmesine izin vermek sadece moralini yükseltecek, böylece psikolojik dayanıklılığını ve kendini koruma konusundaki kararlılığını arttıracaktır. Bu mümkün olduğunca erken ve mümkün olduğunca fazla ortadan
We can't
kaldırılmalıdır.
control every emotion, all right? We can't control some of our urges, some of our thoughts. None of us can. Okay, and I can't look you in the face and say I haven't made a mistake or made a bad decision in life, because I have.
I have to sit here on my own anyways and take this.
To an extent you do, yes. You have to sit there and decide, am I going to get rid of this and get this off my chest so people understand my side, or am I going to sit there curled up and keep it in for the rest of my life, all right? You have an issue here in that there's overwhelming evidence, compelling evidence that indicates you're involved in what's happened to Tori, okay? And I can't change that and you can't change that at this stage. But you need to be honest and you need to understand your credibility, Mike, is all you have left. I'm trying not to, out of respect actually for you, but I can sit and get as graphic as I want, okay? Because none of this stuff bothers me because I've seen it hundreds of times, okay? But if I sit and go over what's happened here with Tori, you may not be real happy about it because it's going to cause you to relive all this crap, okay? And maybe you want to, because I can tell you I've sat with guys that wanted me to say it again so they could hear what they've accomplished. And I've had that, where they want me to say it 2 and 3 times because they get a rush out of that. I don't think that's you, okay? You're not some sick guy, okay? I've dealt with many people who are sex offenders that habitually and repeatedly touch and molest children. I've dealt with that. That stuff doesn't bother me, okay? But what's going on here is that you're just in there, you're just a big bundle of nerves, and you don't know what to do. You don't know whether to sit here, shake, shit, puke, you don't know what to do. But the reality of it is, at the end of the day, the evidence is the evidence, okay? And the evidence clearly shows you're responsible for the abduction of Tori, okay? And I also know that she's no longer with us, okay? And you're responsible for that too, okay? And there's a sexual component to this as well. I don't think that you're some kind of monster. If I did, you'll find me pretty candid. You'll find that I'll come right out and tell you, Mike, okay? I don't think that, okay? I think this got out of control. I think it got out of hand, okay? Are you some kind of monster? Or did you make a mistake here? You made a mistake, right? This is a mistake, right, Mike? You'd take it back if you could? This is a mistake, right, Mike? You'd take it back? If you could turn back the hands of time, Mike, would you do this a little bit different? Mike, I'm talking to you. If you could turn back the hands of time, you're not some monster. You made a mistake, right? You'd take this back if you could? This is a mistake, Mike. You need to deal with this.
I am a monster,
I know
but
you're
I
not a
did
monster.
not do what you think I did.
I know you did. We're past that, okay?
No.
You can't sit and say that you're innocent and did all. What's the first thing you did when you got in here? You just laid down and curled up, right? It's all over. You know it's over, okay? You know it's done, okay? You don't have to be an expert in body language. All you've done is lay around in the fetal position since you've been here. That's not how innocent people act.
Possibly that it's
the last
freezing. I
thing.
haven't eaten since noon. It couldn't be that this is all just a huge shock to me. No, it
Yes.
couldn't have been any of that at all.
It's probably all of that, but it's also the fact that you're involved in it. It's probably all of that, Mike. Okay, the fact that maybe you haven't eaten that much, and maybe you are cold. There's no question. The first thing you said to me was you're cold and hungry, so that's why I grabbed you that stuff. Okay, and you made a mistake, man. Deal with it, and we move on. And I never said for a second that you went and took that kid from the school, because you didn't. But that kid was taken from that school, all right, by Terri and put in your car, okay? And you were there, and you were part of when the kid was driven to Guelph, okay, in the Home Depot. And then from there, the kid, into the demise of the kid. So to an extent, someone's put you in this position, right? And we need to deal with that.
You want me to tell you things I didn't do so I can get locked up for the rest of my life for this?
No, that's not. I don't want you to tell me things you did not do. No, I'm going to ask you a question. What's your biggest fear or your biggest concern now that you've been charged with this? What's your biggest concern here?
Losing my life.
Okay, all right.
I want to know what this girl Terri said.
Okay. She acknowledges that she grabbed Tori and brought her to your car. That it was your wishes. That you sent her there with certain things that you were looking for in a victim. And she took her. And you guys drove on the highway and did the Home Depot thing, which I talked about. Left the Home Depot. Went to a secluded area. You had sexual relations with Tori. And Tori was killed. This is your time, man. This is as good as it gets, unfortunately. All right? This is it. And, I mean, I can get into more detail if you want, but in a nutshell, that's a polite way of saying what the allegations are.
What's this process? What happens?
What happens next? After you and I are done talking, you go back to your cells. Tomorrow morning, you'll have what's called you'll be brought into court, and the charges will be read to you again, and there'll be a discussion if you get out of custody for bail, and then they may schedule a bail hearing to determine that. And then from there, it's a matter of where it goes from the courts. The investigation will go on for a little while yet. There's a couple things that, as I told you earlier, need to be done. And then in the big picture, you're facing these charges.
I'd rather deal with this issue in court.
Şüpheli 95 dakikalık psikolojik baskıdan sonra da direnmeye devam ediyor. Bu yüzden soruşturmacılar sorgulamanın bir sonraki aşamasına geçiyorlar. Maten Jeff tekniğini kullanmaya başlıyorlar. Popüler kültürde en çok bilinen adıyla iyi polis, kötü polis.
Hey staff, how are you? One for a sec. I understand Mike here wanted to see what Terri-Lynne had to say. Mike, Terri-Lynne's still speaking to my partner, okay? This is the girl you killed, all right? She's not missing anymore. She's dead. Terri-Lynne was asked today if she wanted to call a lawyer 4 times. She said no, all 4 times. She went through 2 boxes of Kleenex, all right? She says on the 8th of April, Wednesday the 8th of April 2009 at 3:30 in the afternoon, you drop her off at Pavey, south of Fife, south of the public school. where Tori walks out of. You tell her to get a girl and you want her young. She walks up the street, you drive up to the old age home and you park your car. She walks up to Tori. Tori's nice to her. She trusts her. She holds her hand for a little bit. She walks up the street with her. Terri-Lynne tells her about her little dog, gets her across the street to your car, opens the back door. Tori doesn't like it anymore. She pushes her in the car. You start driving. She says she's freaking out. She says she's worried about you. She's scared about what you're going to do. She says you guys hit the 401. You start driving to Guelph. You park outside a house. You go in for a little while. You come out with some drugs, she thinks. Then you drive to the Home Depot. You park at the end of the parking lot. You tell her it's her turn to get out of the car. You tell her to go in there. You give her some cash because you don't want to use your debit card so you don't track it. She goes in there. She gets garbage bags like she's told to do, and she comes back out. Then you go driving. And you pull into a farmer's field right across from a house, to the point where you're even asking her if anybody can see you. And what does she do? She says she goes for a walk because she doesn't want to see what happens. And then she comes back. And you're not sitting in the front seat anymore, Mike. You're sitting in the back seat. And she's not liking what she sees. So she walks away again. Then she comes back, and you make her hold one of those garbage bags while you put some of your clothes and her jacket and a hammer in the garbage bag. Then you drive to a gas station. She never sees Tori again. You drive to that gas station, you get out, you wash up, you dump the bag. You drive back to Woodstock. That's Terri-Lynne's story, Mike. That's Terri-Lynne's story while she bawls her eyes out through 2 boxes of Kleenex. And I ask her 4 times, hey, you want to call a lawyer? She says, I don't need to call a lawyer. I feel so bad about what happened. I just want to tell you all about it. That's what you're up against.
Terri-Lynne's a liar.
Well, you're the only person that can tell us that, bud.
I just,
Security blanket and start being a man. Because it's not going to be her semen that we find on her body. When we look at the areas underneath the parts of the seat that you cut out, we're going to find her blood. Stafford is all over your car. All over it. And Terri-Lynne explains everything that she knows we're going to find. You're explaining nothing. So I don't give a fuck if you say one more word to tell you the truth.
all right, we're done then.
Well, I'm done with you anyway.
Okay.
This officer here is trying to understand what the hell you're going through. I don't care.
Who are you?
I'm the lead investigator here.
Okay.
Okay?
Terri-Lynne's full of shit.
Well, that's going to be a funny thing for you to say in court, isn't it?
No.
Because how's the DNA going to be full of shit, Mike? Huh? How's the biologist from the Center for Forensic Sciences going to be full of shit? How's the pathologist that examines her body going to be full of shit? Explain that to me.
Well, he just told me not to say anything more, so
That's up to you. You don't say anything to him.
that's what
but
he said, though.
He
So
doesn't want you to talk to him, but that's fine. I'm still interested in listening to you.
I'm not saying anymore
Why?
because of the officer, because of what the lawyer said. Now it's everything. I just don't.
What do you think's going to happen next?
I'm not sure. I don't know. Someone runs in here and starts barking. You just want me to say whatever. You just want me to say things. So it's open and closed.
No.
So it's over and done with. That's it. This is how it is. Nothing more to talk about.
No.
I'm done.
Why?
I'm not talking anymore.
How come?
I've already told you why.
Just because of all the different angles and all that?
I just don't feel comfortable talking about it.
So you're prepared then to just leave it like this and You're gonna ride it out from here, see where it goes?
Yep.
You think that's the best way to do it?
I don't know. I've never been in this chair before. I don't know.
You need something to eat?
Yeah, but you don't care if I need something to eat.
Why would you say that?
Because you don't.
I wouldn't ask if I didn't care.
You're here for your job.
Nope. I could have walked out. I don't have to ask you because you got it going right here. Right? But the reality of it is, I know that you're going to go back and sit and sleep or do whatever for a while, and you'd be better to do it on a full stomach. That's all it is to it, man. But I don't have to ask you if you want food, but I am prepared to get you food.
So
That's
I can
reality.
eat, and then you can say, well, look, he had an appetite. This is how he must have been feeling. Oh, he drank his tea. This is how he must be feeling. Forget the fact he's just starving. And
You're reading too much into it, man. No, that's not what it is at all. I offered you something to eat because I thought if you're hungry, you can eat it. I don't care if you eat it or not, right? I mean, it's up to you. It doesn't matter to me if you eat or you don't eat.
and that doesn't go in anywhere in any of your reports
What's that?
that I ate or not ate.
No, because it's on the video. It doesn't matter if you eat or not. I don't have to write any report. My report doesn't say if you ate or not. My report says what we talked about. Do you want something to eat?
I need something to eat, yes.
All right. I'll get you something to eat. Look at me. Take it easy.
Let's have some. Hey, Mike. I'm a pretty get down to the facts kind of guy. I'm sure you've realized that from our brief encounter earlier. All right. This is not rocket science. I've got what Terri-Lynne has told me this afternoon, and I've got you. This is your opportunity. Terri-Lynne's sitting right here. Tell us she's a liar. You've had no problem at saying without her in the room.
Terry's a liar.
Yeah, that's what you're hoping.
You're not even looking at her.
I don't need to look at her.
You haven't been looking at anyone.
I don't need to look at anyone.
See, Mike, I know I was right when I walked in here, okay? And I'm not gonna pull any punches here, okay? I'm not gonna try and kiss your ass, all right?
Dedektif Smith'in bundan sonraki davranışları hiçbir sorgulama tekniği ya da stratejisiyle ilgili değildir. O, şüphelinin artık neredeyse tamamen kararlı bir noktaya geldiğini ve bundan sonra ikna edilmesinin mümkün olmadığını bilmektedir. Bundan sonraki sözlü saldırı, soruşturmayla ilgili taktiksel bir amacı hizmet etmez. Dedektif, davaya duygusal olarak bağlanmıştır ve baş şüpheliye hak ettiği psikolojik baskıyı uygulamaya karar verir.
Face it, I'm a cop, all right? And the last 5 weeks, I've been trying to find out who killed an 8-year-old girl. Okay? And I know the guys from behavioral sciences, they got their thing. They're trying to understand why that's what they do.
You guys all work together.
Yeah, we do. They're good people. They know their job very well. And sure as hell, I'd like to know why. All right? I'd like to think that we don't have people walking around our communities who just because they're bored on an afternoon say, hey, why don't we grab that girl and rape and murder her, okay? I'd like to think that we live in a community where people think a little bit more about what they're gonna do than that. Do you think you're coming off as an innocent guy? Do you think you're looking like somebody who's been wrongfully accused here?
You're gonna see it however you want to see it. My lawyer, or the lawyer, instructed me to just say,
Yeah, I know, Mike. I know what your
Simply-
lawyer instructed you to say. But that doesn't make you an innocent man. That makes you a man who's saying, holy fuck, what am I gonna do now?
nothing I do is going to change your opinion. So I might as well just follow the lawyer's advice.
Well, you're right there, Mike. Nothing you do is gonna get you walking out of this police station tonight without being charged with murdering Tori Stafford. You're right. You know how much media coverage this has. You know what the newspapers are going to do with this and to your family tomorrow, okay? You think the cops are going to be talking to everybody you ever spoke to in your life? That's nothing compared to what the media is going to be doing. This is a huge story for them. This is the next Paul Bernardo. Whether you like it or not, a girl and a guy kidnapping an 8-year-old girl and murdering her. That's one of the most sensational things that have happened in this province since Bernardo and Carla. It's going to be a frenzy, and you and I both know that. You know what a psychopath is, Mike?
I have never met one.
Well, I just met one tonight.
I just find it funny how you can go full sure on something when you don't know.
Well, Mike, when somebody tells me that they were present when a man killed an 8-year-old girl.
Right. Somebody told you that.
She did.
Okay.
When that happens, okay, we don't say, oh, well, maybe after we go golfing for the week, we'll go and see Mike and see what he has to say. That's not the way it works.
No, so let's just pick him up and then say, yep, you did it. Because that's obviously got to be the right way to go about things.
Yeah. So, the last thing I cover off with everybody I talk to in situations like this, Mike, is pretty straightforward, okay? Rodney Stafford and Terri McDonald have to be notified about this. Okay. First question out of their mouth is going to be, what? Did they say why they did it?
I'm sure one of those two will have the answer for you, why somebody would do it.
What are you getting at, Mike? What are you throwing out there for me, buddy?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're going to talk to them anyways.
You know what, Mike? If you're going to claim you have no involvement whatsoever, don't play games with me and throw out little hints and see what comes of it.
There's no game. There's no little
Okay,
hints.
there's nobody involved in this except for you and Terri-Lynne.
We're done.
Is that what you said to Tori before you killed her? We're done?
Funny man.
Funny man. That's what you think this is funny
I
man?
think you're a funny man.
I think you're a cold-blooded killer. Because you and I haven't spent too much more time now than you forced Tori Stafford to spend in your car. You could have let her out anywhere along that route. You could have killed her without sexually assaulting her. And that's what I wanted to sit across from tonight. See what it's like to sit across from a guy who, when he abducts an 8-year-old girl, is so turned on by it that before he kills her, he has to have sex with her. So if you ask me why I'm sitting in this room, I'm sitting in this room for Tori. Making you squirm, putting you through some of the grief that you put her through. That's why I'm in here, Mike. And I'm having a good time. You are a sick puppy, Michael. Eight years old, Mike. 8 years old, buddy. All she wanted to do was go home and have a little party for her friends because her mom just redecorated her room for her. That's pure evil, bud. And that's exactly what the judge is going to see. That's what you are. No remorse, no empathy, no nothing. You're just hollow. The nice thing about the place you're going to be spending a good chunk of your life is they actually have glass cells. So you and Bernardo can make googly eyes at each other all day, whatever you guys do in there. So it's nice meeting you, Mikey. Enjoy the rest of your life. This is the kind of room you're going to be spending it in.
McClintic 2010 yılında tarafların üzerinde anlaştığı olay beyanını kabul ederek 1. derece cinayetten ömür boyu hapis cezası aldı. Rafferty'nin yargılanması 5 Mart 2012'de başladı ve dava yaklaşık 10 hafta sürdü. Mahkeme süresince jüri Rafferty'nin suçlarını ve McClintic ile olan koordineli eylemlerini değerlendirirken polis kayıtları, telefon mesajları, araç izleri ve fiziksel delilleri inceledi. Mahkeme sırasında McClintic'in detaylı itirafları ve tanıklıkları Rafferty'nin suçlu bulunmasına belirleyici oldu. Jüri 11 Mayıs 2012 tarihinde tüm suçlamalardan Rafferty'yi suçlu buldu. Çocuk kaçırma, cinsel saldırı ve 1. derece cinayet ceza olarak ömür boyu hapis verildi. En az 25 yıl şartlı tahliye olmayacaktı. Mahkeme sırasında Rafferty'nin zaman zaman duygulandığı, bazı anlarda ağladığı ve Tori'nin ailesinden özür dilediği görüldü. Ancak suçlamaları reddetmeye devam etti. Mahkeme sonrası temiz başvuruları yapıldı. Ancak 24 Ekim 2016'da Ontario Yüksek Mahkemesi temiz başvurusunu reddetti ve Rafferty'nin cezası kesinleşti. Başlangıçta maksimum güvenlikli cezaevinde tutulan Rafferty, Aralık 2018'de orta güvenlikli bir cezaevine transfer edildi. Bu karar Tori'nin ailesi ve kamuoyu tarafından yoğun şekilde eleştirildi. Transferin cezaevi yönetimi tarafından gerekçesi güvenlik sınıflandırma kurallarına uygunluk olarak açıklandı. Tori Stafford cinayeti Kanada tarihinin en trajik çocuk kayıplarından biri olarak kayıtlara geçti. Bu olay sadece bir çocuğun hayatını kaybetmesiyle kalmadı. Aynı zamanda toplumun adalet sistemini ve medyanın çocuk güvenliğine yaklaşımını da derinden etkiledi. Michael Rafferty'nin ömür boyu hapis cezası suçun ciddiyetine uygun bir adalet tepkisi olarak görüldü ve Terri-Lynne McClintic'in cezası da sistemin 1. derece cinayetlerdeki zorunlu yaptırımlarını yansıttı. Olayın tüm ayrıntıları, soruşturma süreçleri, mahkeme belgeleri ve tanık ifadeleri ışığında anlatıldığında Tori Stafford davası hem adli hem de toplumsal açıdan derin bir ders niteliği taşımaktadır. Bu dava Kanada'da çocuk güvenliği ve suç soruşturma protokollerinin gözden geçirilmesi gerektiğini açıkça göstermektedir. Peki siz Tori Stafford davası hakkında ne düşünüyorsunuz? Yorumlarda buluşalım. Bana destek olmak için kanalıma abone olabilir ve videolarımı beğenip yorum yapabilirsiniz. Şimdiden teşekkürler.